All right, guys. Uh, Now I'm gonna do the key facts. Now I'm not sure, again how true this is or anything like this. I'll see if I can go through here and see when this was published. Uh, as I'm doing this. All right, so this was published September 13th of 2023. So I would say they're fairly on top of it. Okay. All right, so this little thing says, guns are deeply ingrained in American society and the nation's political debates, which is true. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees the right to bear arms, and about a third of U.S. adults say they personally own a gun. At the same time, in response to concerns such as rising gun death rates and mass shootings, President Joe Biden has proposed a policy legislation which would expand on the bipartisan gun safety bill Congress passed last year. Uh, this channel is not about politics. This is not about Donald Trump. It's not about Joe Biden. I give no fucks about that. This channel is about knowledge, education, and for those who don't know, to know, and for those who know, to have a refresher course. So please, if you're going to get into politics on my page, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to go somewhere else. All right. I'm not politically correct about a bunch of shit, and I don't rightfully give a damn. Okay. So the first thing is about one, about 4 in 10 U.S. adults say they live in a household with a gun, which is true. I could see that, which is true, including 32% who say they personally own one. Okay, according to an August report based on our June survey, these numbers are virtually unchanged since the last time we asked this question in 2021. So, what a 2 year gap, 2021 to 2023? There are differences in gun ownership rates by political affiliation, gender, community type, and other factors. Now, again, I don't give a damn about your politics. It's just what this says, okay? Republicans and Republican leaning independents are more than twice as likely as Democrats and Democrat leaners to say they personally own a gun. So this says 45% versus 20. 40% of men saying they own a gun compared to 25% of women. I can see that. 47% of adults living in rural areas report personally owning a firearm, as do smaller shares of those who live in the suburbs, 30%, or urban areas, 20%. 38% of white Americans own a gun, compared with smaller shares of black, 24%, Hispanic, 20%, and Asian, 10%. Now, I can't show you the chart or anything. Like I said, go over to these guys. They've got it all up there on their website. You can look at it. Personal protection tops the list of reasons gun owners give for owning a firearm. I can see that. That's kind of the whole point of having a firearm. Is whether to protect yourself, your family, or those around you. That's the whole point of it. About three quarters, 72% of gun owners say they have protection is a major reason they own a gun. Considerably smaller shares say that major reason that they own a gun is for hunting. That's 32%. For sport shooting, 30. As a part of gun collection, 15. Or for their job, 7. So I would be in that 7 percentile range. Because I own my gun for urban security agents, and I own it for the protection of me and my family, which is 72%. All right. Um, Keep going down here. Again, if you want to look at the charts, go by their website. Excuse me. Gun owners tend to have much more positive feelings about having a gun in the house than non-owners who live with them. For instance, 71% of gun owners say they enjoy owning the gun. Now, that's not, I'm not sure what they say enjoy by or whatever, but I can only assume that these people have trained with that firearm. Um, but then again, you know, the same as assuming that this firearm is loaded each and every time is about the same as this. I can't 100% say that all these people have trained. I almost bet three-quarter of that 71 haven't. They buy it, they put it in a lockbox, and they call it a day. But far fewer non-gun owners in a gun-owning household, 31%, say they enjoy having one in the home. They feel protected. They feel secure. They feel and trust that that person that owns the gun is trained with it. It's not going to shoot them. It's not going to. You see what I'm saying? And while 81% of gun owners say that owning a gun makes them feel safer, a narrower majority, 57% of non owners in the gun household, say the same thing about having a firearm at home. Now, if you want to break this down, feelings don't, that's not training. You can feel safe, you can feel secure, but unless you train with that, you are neither. Okay? You are neither. Non owners are also more likely than owners to worry about having a gun in their home. That's 27% versus 12%, respectively, is what this says. Non gun owners are split on whether they see themselves owning a firearm in the future. About half, 52% of Americans who don't own a gun say that they could never see themselves owning one, while nearly as many as 47% could imagine themselves as gun owners in the future. Now, a lot of that is being uncomfortable. A lot of that is not knowing. A lot of that is not having somebody like myself or another instructor or a teacher or whatever you want to call it. I'm not an instructor by no means. Knowledgeable, yes. Instructor, no. About firearms, sit down and explain it to them. Go through the motions with them. Teach them how to use it. I think that makes a big, big difference. Now, I'm going to throw my wife out there. She would have been part of that 52%. Um, she just felt uncomfortable. Uh, she, she was, she really didn't know. She'd only fired a few guns prior to. I think one of them was what, a shotgun?
Hell no.
No, it wasn't a shotgun.
22 rifle.
No, excuse me, a 22 rifle. She's not big on rifles. I'm doing my damnedest to change that. I don't blame her about a shotgun. I don't like them either. But she wasn't very comfortable around them. I got her trained. I got her shooting. And I'm going to tell you what, she's a beast. She is by far 10% better than I am at anything that we do with a firearm. Anyway, among those who currently do not own a gun, 56% of the men say that they could see themselves. 40% of women say the same thing. 61 of Republicans and 40 of Democrats who don't own a gun say that they would consider owning one in the future. 56 of black non-owners say that they could see themselves owning a gun one day, compared with the smaller shares of white, 48%, Hispanic, 40%, and Asians, 38% of non-owners. Americans are evenly split over whether gun ownership does more to increase or decrease safety. About 49% says it does more. So, I mean, there you go. There's half, 49. The other half says probably not. You know what I mean? Now it goes in with the Republicans and Democrats and urban and rural, excuse me. Now, a lot of that has to do with training. Do they feel comfortable with the firearm? Are they okay with firing it? Do they have the mentality? Have they trained? Etc., etc. There's a lot of factors that go into this. Americans increasingly say gun violence is a major problem, which I do not deny. I don't deny that. I don't think it's bad enough to where we need to do some really crazy dumb shit within the government to take our gun rights away. but I don't deny that. Again, they keep going and going and going and going on different stats. For instance, the majority of Americans, 61% say it's too easy to legally obtain a gun. About 6 in 10, 58% favor stricter gun laws. About 32% of parents with K through 12 students say they are extremely worried about a shooting ever happening at their children's school, which everybody has a right to be, especially if you have children. I worry about that every day. Again, it goes through a lot of different stuff. I just wanted to go through a few of them. Again, guys, this was just kind of an overview. If you guys want to check that out, again, it is the key facts about Americans is pewresearch.org. So you can either go to American Firearms and go through their website, or just go straight to it. So pewresearch.org. That's where that is. Guys, I hope you learned something. I hope you got something to take away from these videos. I hope you guys really start considering, if you do own a firearm, start training and train hard. Don't lack on it. Don't make excuses. Don't. There's absolutely no excuse why you shouldn't train. There's absolutely no excuse why you shouldn't learn the laws. None at all. So if y'all are doing this, y'all are seeing my videos, y'all please take the time to train. Please take the time to do your research. Please take the time to train. I can't emphasize training enough. I can't do it. Training helps with a lot of accidents. Okay. Training helps with don't shoot situations. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Training helps with trigger discipline, trigger control, aiming, moving and shooting a moving target. It helps with all of those things. So the more you do it, the less likely in the end, if you ever have to do this, if you ever have to shoot that firearm, that you will be the one going to jail versus the bad guy, okay? So please, train. Cannot say it enough, guys. Train.